Hello and welcome to another Spectrum Geeks video. My name is Dale, and in today's video we'll talk about this. It's the lift giant LGX35 scissor lift. So thanks for joining me for another video. So when I did my last video update, a few people asked, will you be doing a review video of this, your scissor lift? So I thought I would do one, take you through it, give you a little bit of information about the spec of it, why I bought it, and kind of my honest feelings of it. I've had it about 3 months now, something like that. The reason I bought it was really for 2 or 3 reasons. One, Dream Garage always wanted to have some sort of lift. In the past I did a lot of work on my cars, always on a driveway or in a garage on jacks and things, so it's kind of like a dream come true to have something like this for working on it, detailing, that sort of thing. Also the car that I normally keep in here, my Lotus Evora 400, needed some work done on it. Mainly it's a labour intensive issue, so the cost, or the quote was £4,000, and I got this lift for £2,000 and I can do the work on it myself. So man maths, but it does make financial sense. So let me lower it down and then I can take you through all of the features and give you a bit more information on the lift. So let's start off with the key specs. The LGX35 can lift up to 3,500 kilograms, so 3.5 ton. It runs off a 2.2 kilowatt single phase hydraulic unit, so you do need a 16 amp commando plug to make this work. The overall width is 1,866 millimeters. The platform length is adjustable from 1,430 millimeters to 2,036 millimeters, and the platform width is 500 millimeters. The closed height, as you can see here, is really quite low at 110 millimeters, so easy enough to drive on even with a low vehicle. Also, you could put some rubber ramps at the start and the end, which I'll show you when I put my car on there later. And at the max height, it is 1,000 millimeters, so a meter in height, and it takes roughly 40 seconds to lift to the full height. So in a moment I'll take you through what that looks like and kind of give you an example of lifting a car up on there. Let's pop over to the main control unit so you can see that in a bit more detail. Okay, so this is the main control unit. It doesn't come with any hydraulic oil, so you need to buy that separately. I can't remember how much it is, 5 litres, maybe less than that. I'll put a little note here, but fairly basic. Under here is some electronics, and inside is the hydraulic oil reservoir, and basically we have a few options. The on-off switch to power it, so when we turn that on we have a light indicator to show that it's lit up. We have an emergency stop button, then we have one button for rising, one button for lowering, and when you've put it into its rise position, I'll look at it in a bit more detail in terms of the safety features. This is the button to lock it. So let me move the camera back over and we can look at how long it takes to raise up the lift into its higher position. Obviously it's going to take a while to lower it back down when there's not a vehicle on it, because obviously it's got no weight to push down on it. But let me move the camera and you can see how long it takes to rise. So obviously that's without any vehicle on it, and it took just under 24 seconds. So obviously depending on the weight of the vehicle, it will have an impact on how long it takes to raise and lower. But again, I'll put my Evora on here before the end of the video and kind of recheck how long it takes. But let's check out some of the safety features and the things that I like about the lift. And one of them, even before I move the camera, is the fact that you do have unobstructed access pretty much through the centre. So if you're removing exhaust, draining gearbox oil, transmission fluid, that sort of thing, it is definitely an option with a lift like this. Obviously you are somewhat restricted on the height, because it's only a metre, but again, in this particular garage I don't have much height anyway, so depending on the height of the vehicle, this is perfect. I'm not expecting to walk under anything. For me to be able to sit, crouch underneath it is pretty good. Obviously there is the centre, I don't know what you call them now, I guess the centre bars that connect the two together, which does obstruct things a little bit, but we'll come on to that in a moment. So when the lift was rising, you would have heard all the clonking and clanging, and that's some features worth noting actually. So it has an assisted fulcrum mechanism, so that reduces the strain on the hydraulics at the start of the lift, and a 24 volt, which you can see just there, electric push button safety lock release. So you don't need any air compressor with this particular one, and there is a mobility kit that I'll show you in a moment that enables you to be able to move this around your garage or workplace. So you can see here it locks into each of those kind of welded in nuts. So if for some reason there's a hydraulic failure, which again potentially unlikely, the ramp's not going to come down and squish you, which is pretty good. But as mentioned previously, good access all the way around and in the middle. And obviously here on the sides, if your vehicle is longer, one of the other options you have is to increase the size by popping these up, locking in position, and then you have an extended platform. Obviously you can do that on either side, and obviously then when you finish with it, just pop the lever and it will pop down back into a standard position. One of the things I like, because it is so wide, even if you wanted to have a motorcycle on here or something, that would be possible as well. So far, in terms of the day-to-day use that I've used this for, it's been really, really good. One of the issues I do have, and I still need to actually reach out to the manufacturer, I couldn't see it on their website, see if they do something, is my Evora has inner jacking points at the front, kind of somewhat extended in the middle. So obviously there's no kind of cross support bar at the front or any adjustment there. So I kind of bodge it a little bit with some rubber supports, but it'd be nice if there was an option so you could have a slidey kind of beam across the middle with some jacking points that you can move to make it even more versatile. But again, no product is perfect. And talking about perfect products, the actual moving kit that I got with this, the first kit I had didn't work properly, but fair play to Lift Giant, they sorted the issue out straight away and sent me a new lever to pull it around with and a new wheel bit that connects into the middle, which again I'll show you that right now. Also comes with some blocks, so again you can use that on your jacking points as well. I'm not going to move it around in my garage because it's in the position I like it, but I will put the wheels on there and show you kind of how it works. And you'll notice again that front wheel is a different colour because that's the one that they sent as a replacement that worked properly. Okay, so this is basically the mobility kit. I'm going to zoom out a little bit to show you how it works, but you have this little lever that connects into the front wheel and you kind of then drag it around, which is this little kind of dolly wheel here. That's the one that goes on the front, and then there's two rear ones that connect in the rear that enable you to try to drag it around. It works not too bad, to be honest, on the plastic mesh floor that I have. So it definitely makes it more versatile if you wanted to drag things out. If you had a smaller workspace and you didn't have somewhere to kind of move it around and you had to deal with that, that'd be fine. But you have to have things wired up and raised to be able to connect these. You can't connect the wheels when it's in its down position, which kind of sucks a little bit, to be honest. But let me move things around and I'll show you kind of how it functions. Okay, so things only go on one way, so you can see kind of that little cutout there, and that's what you need to get into this position. So again, in the raised position, when it's down, you wouldn't be able to get that on. If you see here, just like this, and then you do the same for the two back ones. So again, they just connect in again, sliding on into that position there. Same again for the other side, and then when I lower them down, you'll see that it kind of raises up onto those wheels and you can drag them around by essentially getting this, it goes up through into that hole, and then you can move the whole thing around. So let me just pop the camera down, lower this down, and you'll see it pop up onto those wheels. So now you can see it's fully raised off of the floor onto those wheels, and then it gives you the ability to just basically now drag it forwards and backwards or left and right, guiding it by that front wheel to position it wherever you would like in your garage or workspace. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to raise it back up again, take those wheels off, pop it back down, and then we'll bring the Evora 400 in so that you can see what it looks like raising a vehicle. I have got these rubber mats, well, little cut-offs of rubber mats actually, that I use just to raise the front of the car and the back up just a little bit to get to the jacking points, because it's very low seals. You can get, I guess, proper mats from Lift Giant, but I already had those things handy, so it didn't make any sense for me to kind of buy something new. So let me raise it up, take those wheels off, lower it back down, and then we'll pop a vehicle on so you can check it out. Okay, so that's the Evora back up on the ramp. I'll now give it a lift up so you can see what it looks like lifting and lowering a vehicle. Okay, so that's raised 24 seconds. Not too bad. And as you can see, once you've got a vehicle on there, it adds some perspective in terms of your ability to kind of take wheels off at a nice height, kind of get underneath, and access to panels and things that you might need to do without having to worry. And as you can see, it's nice and sturdy, nothing's going anywhere. So let me lower it back down again. We'll time that so you can see how quickly it lowers with a vehicle on, which is much quicker. And in this position, you probably heard it went back down and locked into kind of one of those clips. So again, if there was a failure, it will get trapped underneath. And that was back down again. Only 16 seconds. Pretty good. So I guess to sum things up with this lift, 3.5 tons lifting capability, ultra low close height, so great for low vehicles, and actually means that the garage is still quite usable even when you've got it down and no vehicles on. Obviously you could sink it into the ground if you wanted to do that as well. Adjustable platforms, super smooth. There's electronic locks as well for extra safety. And again, a bit of a bonus, that mobility kit is included in the price where some of the other vendors charge you extra for it. I guess the only cons, depending on what you're looking for, it is only a mid-rise lift. Lift Giant do higher ones, but you can't really see the ceiling in here, but it's not much higher than when the car is fully lifted here. And obviously you do require a 16 amp commando socket in there as well. It doesn't just plug in to a standard socket. So hope this video was helpful. If you have enjoyed it, please consider liking, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in other similar videos. If you've got any questions, comments or concerns, leave them down in the comment section. I will read them and get back to you. But thanks very much for watching. If I'm really lucky, I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Bye.